Have you ever wondered if those old, broken nail clippers you were about to throw away could be turned into a homemade soldering iron? It might sound a bit far-fetched at first, but it's actually completely possible. All right, let me show you exactly how I made it happen. And my idea here is to turn this old nail clipper into a handle for a homemade soldering tool. To get started, I'll first remove the lever and the pivot pin. Next, I prepared a bolt and a nut that fit just right to go directly into the hole of the nail clipper. The nice thing about using a bolt and nut here is how simple and convenient they are. You can tighten or adjust them easily, and they hold everything firmly in place without much effort, creating a solid and reliable structure. If you come across an old AA battery that's been tossed aside, don't hesitate to pick it up and turn it into something useful. It's not as useless as it seems just because it's out of power. Inside, there's a carbon rod that can handle heat quite well, making a surprisingly good choice for crafting a homemade soldering tip. It's easy to shape, holds its form under high temperatures, and can be reused in a simple setup without much hassle. To make the handle of this homemade soldering iron more solid and secure, I'm going to reuse another old nail clipper and put to good use. To sharpen one end of the AA battery's carbon rod into a usable soldering tip, sandpaper will be a really handy tool to get the job done. Next, I have a terminal block, and I'm going to take out one of the metal connectors inside to use as a bridge between the homemade soldering tip and the threaded body of the bolt, creating a continuous, seamless connection. The type of wire I usually use in these recycling projects has an insulating plastic outer layer, and inside, it's made up of many thin copper strands tightly twisted together. What I like about this kind of wire is how flexible and easy it is to work with. It bends without breaking, handles heat reasonably well, and the multiple strands help maintain a stable connection, making it reliable for small DIY setups. To keep the wire from getting in the way during testing, I'll use electrical tape to secure a section of it along the handle. As for the other end of this wire, I'll prepare it so it can connect more easily to a power source. This is an alligator clip, and I'm going to connect it to the remaining end of the wire. What makes it really useful is how quickly and securely it can grip onto a contact point. You can attach and remove it in seconds without any complicated setup, and it still holds firmly in place, which makes testing and adjusting the setup much more convenient. I'm going to make one more tool to connect to the negative terminal of the power source. It's a simple setup, a piece of wire with an alligator clip attached at each end, making it quick and easy to hook up while still keeping a secure connection. Using a dedicated battery pack from a cordless drill to power this homemade soldering iron makes a lot of sense, since it delivers a steady amount of energy that's just right for the job without being excessive. There's no need to worry about this. It's just that the soldering tip is a bit damp. Once it heats up and dries out, it'll be ready to use as normal. And I'm going to run 3 simple tests to check its flexibility and make sure it won't damage small metal parts during soldering. This will be the most important part, helping you decide whether this recycling project is worth trying yourself. So don't skip it. And after putting it through all these tests, there's really nothing to complain about. From performance to practicality, everything works just the way you'd hope. A simple idea, a bit of reuse, and you end up with a tool that does the job surprisingly well.